how negatively you start to express yourself to this individual is on you. And that's you and God spiritual battle. You know what I'm saying? You and God conversation. That's between you and God and how much you know you going too far with it or not. I can't get into that. That's with you and God right there. But I brought you to the water to know that's one of the things you're going to start to face once you realize that event, the first strike of witnessing you have a sheep, robot, or agent around you. Now, strike two. Strike two in this motherfucker. Now, here's the thing, right? People who are distractions but they're not necessarily an issue to you due to being a friend, family, or a close one. So this is just a distraction, not strike one, like a person who always have a lot of suggestions for you. A distraction is a person, they're not even really invested in what you're doing. They just somebody you know. So sometimes the things that they do and just how y'all got connected in the first place is totally opposite from your gift and talent. So by this being your friend, you're not even looking at it that way. In your mind, you might be like, damn, I got this good picture I want to draw. Soon as your phone ring and this person call, you see their number. You get all excited, like, oh, well, shit, well, I'll do this later because, yeah, I'm about to go do this. You know what I'm saying? So you don't see it the way God see it. You know what I'm saying? And we all fall short sometimes. But this is the strike two agent, sheep, and robot. Y'all, thank you so much for the donation, Mutable God. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. This person is a distraction. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of times, what they're distracted by still involves into one of the 5 pillars: business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. And they might not even be manifesting off of it or materializing off of it with their security, stability, shelter, support, and safety. They might just be into these things because it's a distraction, but it ain't no big deal type shit. So it might be a person that you ain't even that deep into sports as them. But every time they come around, you don't really think so negatively about communicating about sports with them, so you don't got no problem with it. But at the end of the time, when you look at it and ponder over the day, when you do your reverse memory, you start to see that more seconds, minutes, and hours went towards that individual and less on a percentage scale went towards your gifts and talents. And God don't like that. God really don't like that. And you gonna reap those false benefits the day later, the week later, aka you not accumulating more of what you was originally supposed to be doing, and you finding yourself manifesting small ramifications of the situations of people you are around, aka this person always talk about sports and not doing shit. Eventually you got something to do, but you end up experiencing days of not doing shit, even if you're not even into sports. It'll be something that you slightly into that play out the same energy, just a different shape or form. Whatever you into, but same energy. You ain't doing shit all day. So it's like you got to peep game. It's deep. Thank you so much for the donation, Starface NY. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real shit. So it's deep. A lot of times these individuals don't necessarily know that they are a distraction because they just your friends, your close ones. And you might not necessarily even see them as an agent or sheep or a robot at these moments. But you got to catch yourself. So it's not for you to start arguing with them and change their mind. It's for you to change your own world. Start to manage your time you share with them. And therefore, this makes you a responsible, more adult spirit. And God like that, because God will make sure that you have time for your distractions, your enjoyment. God ain't gonna make you do everything. Like, God want to enjoy itself too. So that God will allow its children to do that. So when you're doing something for God, God will create situations of just, as long as you making something new possible, making a new possibility, God will create, since all possibility, all spirit, space within space. Since you got your own solo space, your own soul, you just have a piece of all possibilities. So this is how God repay you. You having a mind that mimic that and it bending in on itself in the material world or materializing via people, places, and things that mimic the thought and feeling of peace. So God give you a sense of peace, and peace, God will leave you alone so you can go ahead and be busy with your devices for a little bit until God needs you on another mission and shit. And God to make sure that you have the things you actually need that everybody be wanting to and shit. So for the most part, God to always check you to be like, look, you do this for me, I give you this. You do this for me, I give you that. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You in a godly relationship at that point. Some of y'all be doing shit for the devil though. So it become like weird, selfish, and then that devil like being called God. So you'll get confused. But if you ain't went through no situation of sacrificing and not having, and then having to sit in that energy where you had to struggle for yourself to get that bubble of satisfaction energy and get that bubble of justification energy and just being able to settle and make your situation seem better in your mind other than what it is physically. If you haven't went through that situation and it seemed like you just been given things and you could cry a little bit and give it to, that's you've been shaking hands with the devil. That ain't got nothing to do with God. God, the only time you know you're doing something for God if you actually went through that process of not having something and you didn't allow the external world to draw you back into them. And then once you got it on your own or got it in a way that you was justified and didn't care if you was going to get it or not, and then you get something, that's when you know you got it for God. A lot of y'all be scared to reach those points because when you reach those points of not having, you feel like you're doing something wrong. So you're oblivious and blinded to the experiences you actually need as mental forms to build your spaceship, to actually know how to get to the destination. You actually start turning your direction and creating other spaceships to go in other directions to prevent yourself from experiencing any more going down that road or path. Because you like scared of rejection or vulnerability or not having or something like that. So it looked like things to jump back in that just look familiar again and listening to other people again back in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. And therefore, God can't actually give you the maximum of anything. You can only get crumbs because you're following a demon, and the demon always going to get the bigger cut and make you call it God. And it's always going to get the bigger cut, the bigger loaf of the bread. You always going to get the crumb. And then that demon always going to put you in a situation where you got to cry for a crumb again. And it'll take that little crumb away from you because you don't know what a crumb means. And it'll make you think that that crumb is a whole loaf and then give you this whole routine, ritual, Bible scripture so you could be an actor or actress to play out a script on what it takes to get that crumb back. So you're never fulfilled because every time you get the crumb, it made you think the crumb was more. But then you get that crumb, it always feel like you need more. And you never have anything. You still victimized and you need more of that demon in your life. So you call on it even more and then you're creating a relationship with a demon. And a relationship with a demon is like narcissism. Like demons is jealous, very jealous. Their traits are jealousy, egotism, narcissism. And you have to sacrifice yourself for them. Like that's a demon trait. So the word for that is God. Demons love being called God. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be careful with that word sometimes too. If you ain't in no real spiritual space, which is spiritual predecessors. Spirits that been there and done that. Wasn't bodies like similar than ours, been there, done that, and greater bodies and shit like that. A lot of them don't even like being called God. And they'll send you on a mission to any world that worship God and goddesses and make you transmute that energy to something real and give that power to the spirits that actually deserve it. Because they can't speak for themselves. See what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the donation, David Banks. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real shit. So look, check this out, right? This what makes you really God people. And can't no Jew use anti-Semitism towards you because your ideas is better than theirs. So they actually got to follow you. Then you become the image. Well, you already the image of God if you watch my channel. But I'm speaking for future people out there. Future soul group, subconscious community people. 144,000. You become the image of God. So then they end up wanting to be like you. So they only could be the liking of it. So for the most part, you're the image. You give them the mathematics and the image on what to build, and then they're the liking. They come like the image. So they build what the image supposed to look like. But you have to be the image, and then the likings, the werewolves, the sheeps, the Jews, the Lucifer children, they build it. You know what I'm saying? They're the liking. They have to come like it. Because if they don't come like the image, they're going to feel unmoral. They're going to feel like they're not doing something right. The image just have to be the image. We just have to look like God. You know what I'm saying? Be what all possibilities supposed to look like. And then once we what all possibilities supposed to look like, the ones that copy is the ones that have to be like it because they don't know. They got sheep mind. They got that caveman mind. And y'all are rude. Since y'all sheep, y'all ruled by people that's y'all rulers, but y'all rulers created the sheep mind first. They're demons. So they're sheep to themselves. They're slaves to their desires, their power. So y'all be trying to copy them, but it don't work as much. You see what I'm saying? So you have to peep game in this motherfucking shit. But you come transmute they motherfucking shit and things of that nature. So when you come in the image of God, they have to be like you. Because anytime they try to express their image, it don't match well. Something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, they just have to be like you and try to transmute it to take your power back. That's why y'all see all the shadow government be copying and shit. But when they try to be like it, they have to make things that look like the image. So we're going to make them build the pillars. We're going to make them build the waterfronts. We're going to make them build the arches. We're going to make them build our shit and things of that nature. All we have to do is come in the image. Show them how you supposed to be. Now, if you the low-hanging fruit, you're not even in that race. You're not even in the real spiritual godly race. You just allowing them to win. And they got